Well, I think it's worth noting before we get into it that we weren't going to do an episode on an F1 race unless we had at least a majority of good things to say about it.
And we were not going to do an episode on something that we're not enjoying.
That we're just going to
And
trash. Yeah.
By and large, F1 is a bit of a snooze fest at points.
These days, it's like, I mean, even when it's not a snooze fest, like the words artificial are getting tossed around and
it has been artificial.
yeah, that's what everyone's saying, and that's kind of how it feels. That's what it's like to watch
DRS was
it.
artificial. The MOM is artificial, even worse.
I mean, yeah. I mean, even like DRS was at least in the same range as the push pass with IndyCar. It created some nice tight racing, and there was strategy involved in it. This is a lot of oddities and kind of almost luck involved. But so we didn't really want to do because most of what we would be saying would just be surrounding that. But here we are. We kind of feel the reason to talk about this.
God save the king.
God save the king. I mean,
it's been a while.
It has been a while. I mean, like this. You think back to, his most recent Silverstone win, and how that just felt good in like the sports world as a whole. Lewis's 9th win at Silverstone. Him
been so long since a win.
Another it was like 500 or 600 days or something since a win.
It was like 2 whole seasons without a win.
And
this one wasn't that long, but I mean, last year was rough.
This looked just as dark as last time, if not darker, because he was at Ferrari. That did not go well. It hasn't been going well.
But he's been in a renaissance here.
Here, this season, he has been
is
taking
second
to it
in the
a little more.
Drivers' Championship. That means something.
Insane, dude.
Like, he's beating out Russell.
And it just felt good. It just, it felt really good to see him do it. This was a pretty good race. And like we were saying, despite all the oddities with these regulations and in the series right now, this was an earned win.
It was.
It wasn't
even with
him,
the VSC.
Right.
Like
with the VSC, which is the worst thing in racing, even more than fucking
I do think
deployment.
the VSC robbed us of a pretty tight finish.
Yeah.
Even if it might have been Russell and the Mercedes that would got there, I think Hamilton would have been there.
I agree. The numbers looked like he really had that pace. He would have, I was saying that, George and Kimi were in some pretty serious machinery there, and they are in the best machinery. Clearly, this Ferrari with 8 upgrades.
Yeah, they brought a lot of upgrades.
It's looking
to this
pretty
one.
good. They are developing it really well.
And Hamilton's clearly taking to it. I don't know what's happening with Chuck, but he looked like he was making up for
Perhaps
lost ground
brake
yesterday.
thing or whatever they were talking about in Monaco. Like, I want Lewis's brakes or something like that.
Maybe
or
he
Lewis
needs
has
time to
brakes.
accustom to the brakes. Maybe he changed. Maybe he didn't. I don't know.
Okay. Well, either way, I mean, Chuck kind of had a bit of bad luck with the strategy. It kind of looked like it was going to go Lewis's way, but still, like it. Lewis earned this fucking win.
They started on the softs, and that I think ended up being the right decision. The 3 stops ended up giving him the time to pit during the VSC.
I mean, dude, talk about a bold strategy. He went for a 3-stop and made it fucking work. And I mean, in racing, you just love to see that, man. You love to see a really aggressive. You start on the softs.
You don't want tire
right?
conservation.
Yeah, and for him, and he is King Tire Preservation according to Ted Kravitz. Like dubbed
this
King
was
Tire.
pace.
He fucking went right for the throat. He's like, we're starting off on pace. We're committing to the 3-stop.
We're committing to it. Like,
and that's
get Russell at the beginning. We don't. Then we're just going for the 3.
We're going hard on it.
Yeah,
and it's great to see. It's great to see that happen, man. I mean, like we were saying, I hope Bono and Toto are smiling at this, and I'm sure that
I'm sure everyone's smiling.
Everyone was,
man.
It's
nice to see, Ferrari be able to sing their song.
Yep.
And not have to, sit through Antonelli's.
Yeah.
even though it's the same.
Quiet.
So, yeah.
Yeah, totally silent, because no one at Mercedes, speaks fucking Italian and knows the national anthem.
And Ferrari can't celebrate for the Mercedes driver that lost.
No, it was great.
It was great.
It was totally great. And, it's... Like we were saying, if it was a real safety car, Lewis probably still would have been able to capitalize on it. I mean, because it was looking like, did Lewis catch out on the if here? No, I don't think they did. And I think that Mercedes were focused on each other and on their own race, and they weren't really covering Lewis.
No, they
weren't really
covering
for like a potential safety car. They were really working on their own shit. They were looking at Chuck too.
Yep.
They were looking at Chuck and Norris. They really didn't have Lewis in their mirrors at all.
No, I think they thought that the 3-stop was not the strategy, and I think this is one of the first times in a while Ferrari had the strategy.
Yeah,
for
and it was a 3-stop. Imagine that.
If
they get it right.
Like who else did a 3-stop?
I don't know, man, but I mean, at least no one in the front did.
Nope. And it worked out for them.
It did.
Gutted for Antonelli, but I think that, brings it
Still
back to
2
parity.
race wins ahead of Lewis.
Or no,
Of George, yeah.
George.
And like 30 ahead of Lewis, something like that.
and I think it brings him back in parity with George. I mean, George had retired from second previously in the season. That's what happened here.
Right.
He got Russell, and then didn't get much time to relax before it died. But that's racing.
Yeah.
Like, it's
It would
gonna
have sucked to
happen.
see him retire from the front as well, especially since he would have been on a sixth
Yeah.
from first. A sixth from debut win.
Debut win 6 in a row. That would have been insane. And he is history making right
Yeah,
there.
that's going to be a tough one to beat for sure.
And who knows if he'll go on, a race winning streak like that. But he's still leading the championship. It's a long championship, so it means nothing at this point. And that's what Lewis was saying too. Like, Rosberg was like, "You think you got an eye on the championship?" And it's like, this is long. They're still fast. I mean, still got to keep pushing. That's kind of how it goes.
Yeah.
Like, there's no rest for them.
It's good to see, like, that there is still the DNA of real racing.
Yep.
Despite what these regs have been doing to the series.
I like seeing the retirements. Of course, I don't like to see them, but I like to see that they do exist. It's not, everyone's ultra
Just
reliable.
perfection the whole time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's not how it was the last couple of seasons.
right.
These
With
new
like the
engine
peak
regs.
of a chassis there, where everyone's kind of got it figured out, and this is just where it's going to stay. It is nice to see that at the start, the scramble to get it right. There's a lot of things to be grateful for, despite all of its oddities, and we are kind of searching for something to be good about this, and thankfully there are those examples, like with
there are some
Antonelli,
good
like with
examples.
this, with
Yep.
Lewis, and the artificial racing can sometimes be fun to watch. It's not worth it. It's not worth the drawbacks of it, but
I mean, these races kind of get into stabilization too often, too fast, too.
yeah, there's that word.
Like,
yeah.
the start happens in like 5 laps. I mean, there's maybe like 1 or 2 battles.
And now they're stabilized. Yeah,
It's
okay,
like,
dude.
and I mean, even up until like most of it, we were just theorizing on if Hamilton could do it,
Right.
not like what was happening on track, because there really wasn't much happening.
It looked pretty dicey for a minute there, man. I mean, you really had to math it out, and then it kind of came to be.
I think he just had superior pace and
Clearly, I mean,
tire preservation.
He was, he was gapping George and Antonelli. Like,
and there, yeah.
yeah, I mean, like he was on maybe like 6.
Yeah, it's like
fresher,
5 or 6.
Yeah, nothing huge, and he was still like putting in serious pace over like the car that has the most pace this season.
I do think that Russell was struggling on the hards. He was pretty good on the mediums at the start there, and he kind of just fell off, and he fell into battling with Kimi, and that of course makes it a bit rougher.
Yeah, but Lewis like Pillow, they like those hards.
They do. They like those hards, and Antonelli needs to figure out his driving style so he doesn't go off the track. I think that might have come to bite him, but it didn't come to pass.
Yeah,
here.
he will get that. He'll get that, and he'll begin to
Still
understand the tire
rough diamond.
strategies. And something went wrong there today. Clearly, I mean, that
Clearly.
was a mechanical failure.
Yeah, I didn't
That's
end
what
up
got him.
hearing what it was, but same thing happened to George. It
I wonder if
happens.
they'll do a penalty next race for him, since there was.
Since there was, I don't think he ever got to the 4th one.
They didn't even say they said. They got on Norris's radio, and they were like,
They're
we
like,
reported 5 instances of the. I mean, that was, I'm sure they were like, that's
no.
bullshit.
You
Because when they're
hear
doing
them, they're
something like
yeah.
that, I feel like they're doing it from just the driver head cams, which it's not enough of a perspective to tell if a car has gone 4 tires off the track. So if that's what they're sending the FIA, even if they're getting it from multiple cars, it's still probably not enough. They need more evidence than that. So I mean, they never even
The
leave it
FIA doesn't look
under
at everything before.
investigation.
Like, McLaren will see one thing and be like, "Yep, that's a
They're
strike."
they're just bombarding.
FIA
them
has
with
to look
shit.
through everything, and they're going to take a moment, especially in this series.
Yeah, they're gonna get
they
a
take
fucking
10 laps to say
cigarette
anything.
and take a vacation day. Do all that
I mean,
shit.
we were waiting for 10 laps to tell us that Lewis didn't have a
Dude,
yellow
oh my
flag
God.
infringement.
Yeah,
It wouldn't
that
have
would-
mattered here in the end, but it was
He was
stressful.
over 5 or 10 seconds.
He was
ahead,
like
yeah.
19. Dude.
Yeah, it would have
It
been
was-
fine, but he was like 3 at the start when they
Yeah.
first mentioned that. It was like, yo,
It was like, he needs to pull a gap.
Yeah,
and
we gotta know
Russell
what's
faded,
happening here.
So it didn't end up mattering. That was good.
I hope this kind of galvanizes Lewis.
I think it will. I think he's been galvanized. He had 2 seconds in
Maybe
a row
to a
before
point
this.
of 8th world championship. That'd be pretty
Maybe.
sick.
Maybe we shall see.
We'll see.
The Ferrari needs to continue on its positive
Man, they
development
need to be able
train.
to do their positive strategy. When do we see an effective strategy from Ferrari like this?
Like
this was
this.
a bold strategy,
And it worked.
and it was well executed.
Yep.
There was no fucking bullshit. People were large. Everyone was largely on the same page. It seemed within the team. Kind of sucked how it worked out for Chuck.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it looked like he might have been going for one stop there. It didn't really pan out.
It didn't pan out. The VSC kind of fucked him. He like pitted right before it, and then it happened. And Max was kind of on like the same strategy as Lewis, like just, and he could capitalize on it, so it put him ahead of him. And then Chuck was just stuck behind someone on newer tires.
Right.
And it's so hard to pass with these cars, even on these purpose-built tracks.
Right.
You need a tire delta, and when the tire delta is ahead of you, come on, nothing's going to change there.
Right. And I mean, like you said, this is a purpose-built track. It is a good track. It is their testing track, and yet it's still not good enough for these cars. Like, that should really highlight the issue here. Like, this is a great track. It's still, like, it's a little thin, but it's not like, you know, it's not cartoonishly thin like many other tracks, especially street courses. Like it has the width of a lot of courses.
It has a lot of different varieties.
These
of
cars
turns,
are still just way too big.
Clockwise as well. It's a very different track at some points, but these cars are too big.
Yeah, they still don't work for most of these situations. I mean, hopefully the next race is the Red Bull Ring, which we were talking about is a really amazing track. Hopefully that brings some good racing.
Yep.
And it's the one that's probably the most likely to of the modern tracks, but it just, you know, it just really does suck to see, because you see the potential of these amazing tracks like this, like Suzuka, and you know it's not really going to pan out to a good race. And I mean, like that with Imola, even the classic tracks, and
it's rough.
You know it's not going to be much better than a street course because the cars just simply don't fit on it for good racing.
They just don't fit on it for good racing. I think it's a lot of how this series functions, how these cars function. Like these cars are built to get up to speed. They're built to brake fast and then get up to speed. And
it just brings more size over time. I mean, like you've seen the comparisons of like, I mean, everyone knows how tiny the fucking, you know, first season F1 cars were and shit like that. But even ones from like 20 or 30 years ago, ones that were like had a bit more of a modern DNA to them, they're still half the size of these cars. You know, where yes, they did race at Monaco to a degree.
Monaco was hard to overtake. It wasn't impossible like it is now.
It still did happen.
Yeah, they're not trying, you know, weird tire rules there. It was a normal race. It was the Triple Crown of motorsports, and now it's kind of just like
you get qualifying, and that's probably gonna be it. Yeah.
Like you need to be Chuck to lose it.
You need to have Chuck's kind of luck to fuck it up. I don't know if we'll get any more bangers like that. You know, it's easy to kind of take it away from it. Like you have to find the good in this. You know, like it's
searching for the good in it. I mean, there was some bad and like.
I'm talking about more from like an overall stance. Like this is like we were saying, like this feels really fucking good. You know, and like this feels really good. Like you like we were comparing it to Lewis's last Silverstone win, and you know, it's you feel that tinge of artificialness to it, you know, and like that is still definitely there because everyone's saying like
tires.
I'm not fucking like I'm a diehard fan of the series. I'm fucking Friday, Saturday, Sunday watcher, and I've never been so like disillusioned and like had so low motivation to watch the series. That's the sentiment.
We're disillusioned.
We are. I mean, with this series,
we had a choice to watch, you know, this live or Le Mans live.
Yeah, we watched Last Hour of Le Mans.
We watched Last Hour of Le Mans.
Fuck yeah, Toyota.
Yeah, fuck yeah. That was everything good there. But we've chosen many times that when there's a conflict, F1 loses.
F1 does, yeah. F1's always going to lose on this, and
the conflict could be it starts too early.
It's like I think I need to get some sleep in, and we'll watch the replay.
Yeah,
and you know. So despite that, and that still does hold true, unfortunately, the way things are with it right now. Like the excuse that I say is I'm not going to give this respect because it's not respecting me. No. Like as a fan of the race, we're being fucking laughed at, taking away the thousandth. You know, we are just getting a 10th now. Like, oh my God, are you fucking kidding me? So you can't. With something like this, you can't stop there. You know, you have to see the beauty in the darkness. Yes. Like these are really shit times in this, and like this is something good. And like let's take it and run with it. You know, you got to move on from it.
Let's see Lewis win. Right. God save the king.
God save the king.
Antonelli
just possibly a world championship.
Maybe, who knows? George has forecasted one at least.
George has forecasted a championship,
and we get to see it all. we can't just stop watching the series because it's a story building over time. If we stop watching this, we're not going to see
Right. Even if this is a low
Lindblad's
point.
first season. Like,
I mean, there's been low points in motorsport and F1 before, and this is clearly a different type of low point than we've seen before. Usually it's just been financial losses.
Yep.
This is almost the opposite. It's been
It's
too much money
yeah.
going into it and trying to
Too
squeeze more out of
popular.
it. Yeah. Like with them trying to appeal to even more laymen, taking away the fucking 10th and shit like that is clearly an example of let's get amateur viewers in and shit like that. Which,
but I'd rather it be popular than defunct.
yeah,
So
because this will at least provide money for generations of the sport. Like this kind of
keep it
heyday
alive.
with it, yeah. And I'm glad that it's not like we're dealing with villains succeeding this. It's not like it's the George season, and like even if
Penske didn't buy it out.
right, yeah, it's not the Zach Brown show again.
Yep.
Just would be apocalyptic in every way.
And there's always going to be bad parts of this, but I think this race was a good part of it. There isn't much to say about any of the other parts of the field.
No.
They were kind of in their own race.
There was some pockets of squabbling and
and they're just lapping people.
yeah.
It's pretty rough, especially with the overtake rules. Once you're lapped down on this, you're kind of just out.
Yeah, you're kind of just gonna be there, and you're running parade laps, you're running testing laps at that point. I mean, it was looking kind of interesting for Hulkenberg for a second there until Audi had a failure, and
They've been doing good.
yeah, they have been doing good.
I think Bortoletto was close. I don't think he quite got a point, unfortunately. Alpine's doing things with a Mercedes engine, I guess.
They had
which is
Albon get
great.
back out there 3 laps down.
Hey,
I like when they do that.
Yeah.
It's like
Shows
you make
heart.
you make a call there, and you're like, it's like, most of the time what they do is like, we're out, we're not going to win, we're not going to get points. Let's save the engine. It's a really easy call to make, and yet
but
we're
we're at the start of a regulation. They just need more time. They
Right.
need to understand what's happening.
So putting back out there is
Yeah,
that
I
was
agree.
cool. I actually took note of that, and I liked seeing that they did take that risk. Like, yes, it was probably to gather some data, maybe provide it to science and all that, be a guinea pig car, but
Red Bull still not being able to start with Hatch. Yeah, that
he
was
still
rough.
fucked it up.
I think
the Ford is struggling with that, perhaps.
perhaps we saw last race at Monaco. It didn't go over well there.
Ooh, no, it did not.
But I think he kind of finished where he was going to. He might have been able to get Piastri because Piastri was kind of nowhere the entire race. But then again, so was Hadjar.
Right.
He cleared all the the midfield and he was there. Gutted for Chuck. I'm glad it wasn't Lewis's car that broke.
Right.
We could have happened.
Yeah, that was tough. I mean, at least it wasn't. It's not like so heartbreaking that Chuck was running a great race or anything like that.
Yep.
But it still did suck to see. Doesn't take away from what we got.
At the end of the day, this was an all-British podium.
Yeah,
which
that
was
is
an
really
outlier.
weird. So it was 1968 since the last British podium, and
I think we've just had so many drivers that are popular from other series or from other nationalities, like Schumacher and Senna and Prost.
There's been serious dynasties, yeah, but
Yeah.
I have to say
and I
that
think that breaks up the chance for 3 British drivers to get on the podium.
It does, but I still think it's a statistical anomaly and outlier
is.
with how many great and consistent podium British drivers there's been since 1960, since the start of the season or the start of the series ever. And
it could have easily happened with the 3 drivers we saw.
Yeah,
today.
I feel like how is this the first time?
They're always on the podium.
They're always all there, and so that is a fucking really weird anomaly that it's taken 50 years, 50
over 50.
Yeah, like
56.
55 years, something like that. Almost 60 years.
It's insane.
And
who knows? Maybe these 2 of them have championships. We'll see if Russell can get there. Mm-hmm. But that last podium.
he's forecast one. Yeah.
But that last podium in '68, they were saying names that are there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember any of them, but there's I think Stewart was one of them.
I was gonna say Moss, maybe.
Oh no, Moss was a '50s driver.
Oh, okay. Probably dead by then. Yeah.
Probably. I'm motorsport back then.
Yeah, dude. Unless you're Fangio, you're not making it to the other side.
But all things considered, I'm glad we caught this one. We caught it, 2 hours after it aired, which is pretty good for us.
we watched the end of Le Mans and then grabbed coffee and then watched it.
Both these were great.
Yeah, they were
Good day
pretty
for
good.
motorsports.
It's ironic, that it's ironic that we got something good out of the VSC finally, because it's still awful. It needs to be gone. It has no place in this. But the VSC was the Pennzoil moment of the race.
But I think anything that was obtained with this VSC, a safety car would have also done.
Sure, yeah. And I mean, even without it, we were saying like Lewis still has a good shot at it here. Like he still has a good shot to take that pit and really have the pace to move up on them. He would, catching is one thing, overtaking is another, which he would have to overtake on track. Which was, Antonelli got George at the end there.
Yeah, he got George at the end. It's possible.
Lewis had the pace to do it. Granted, he was in clean air, so it is if, but, it's like...
My mom had balls. She'd be my dad. But it was good no matter what.
It was good. We did get something good out of the VSC. It might have happened either way, but whatever. Take the win where it is.
God save the king.
God save the king. All right, I think that does it.